So Angela Rye, she's the co-host of the Native Land Podcast, which is on iHeartRadio. She was on the Young Turks. Now, I gotta admit, I do not like her show. I'm independent now. And on her show, it's just one of those really progressive, like the Blue no matter who can do absolutely no wrong. Everything they do, everything they say is absolutely perfect. Everything the right does is absolutely wrong, no matter what they do, no matter what they say. As an independent, I can peep BS on the left and from the right. Even when I was blue, no matter who, I could say, you know what? Biden tripping, or Barack, he tripping on that issue. I could still criticize him. Barack tripping on that issue, but I'm definitely not going towards that way. So I want to show you guys on what she was saying on the Young Turks. This is just one of the things that blue no matter who, this is what she said.
And if we're super clear, since we're talking about perfection today, I'm going to say that she ran a damn near perfect campaign. The problem wasn't with the candidate. The problem was with the consultant class, the donor class, and some of those staff that probably don't need to see the inside of another campaign headquarters.
So, how did she run a perfect campaign if she got absolutely slaughtered? She even almost lost Illinois and New York. How did she run a perfect campaign if she lost so terribly? And look at Jank on here. He's going to be
Tiffany, I filibustered you. I want to hear what you got to say about this.
No. And Tiffany, before you go, look, we all disagree.
So look, I know Jank. He goes on Piers Morgan and they go toe to toe with people, and I know how he thinks. I watched him absolutely every day, and he disagrees 1,000%. But he's just like, hey, I don't want no smoke right now. I ain't in the mood to sit and go back. I'm gonna just let y'all come on here, say how y'all feel, and I'm gonna let y'all go. But it's a disservice. The reason why Kamala, to me, the reason why she lost is because y'all did not care to tell her, look, nobody's filling the border. That border policy is an absolute disaster. You must stop and reverse. There's no way that you run a perfect campaign and you're not listening to the voters. And if you was on social media like I was, I haven't met nobody that was like, oh yeah, we're doing a great job on the border. Also, the economy. The fact that you let in so many different people, and somebody got to pay for that. So the economy, inflation is through the roof. It costs 3 times more. And then the biggest issue was the war in the Middle East. You lost a key battleground state. They told you, no go. You're going to lose that. She knew it. They vowed over 100,000 people, and they did. They showed up to the primaries and voted uncommitted. And threw that election in Michigan in the primaries. So that should have told the Harris campaign, it ain't a perfect campaign. So she threw millions of votes away and an entire battleground key state away. Her back was against the wall when she started. And then she's coming after Biden. So everybody's going to judge her for what the last 4 years look like. Listen to Jank. He just don't want no smoke. He like,
we disagree in different parts, right? Because we're all different human beings, right?
Yeah.
So I do think Kamala Harris was more establishment. But that's a giant, long conversation. Maybe we could have it on your podcast.
I want to hear as compared to who? Compared to who?
No, so as compared to any populist candidate, a Bernie Sanders type of person that he
wasn't running.
I know. I know. Well, no one ran against her, right? So I would have done it differently. I would have hoped that Biden would have dropped out of the race earlier. I would have hoped.
So everybody wants to not Jank, but on Angela Rye's podcast, everybody wants to blame the voters instead of the candidate. Everybody wants to blame misogyny or whatever instead of the candidate. Everybody wants to blame race instead of the candidate. Instead of saying, hey, my candidate did not listen to the voters. No, you cannot lose a football game by 50 points and then say, oh, we ran a perfect football game. It was the referees. No, you did not run a perfect offense or defense if you got smoked by 50. In fact, you did just the opposite. You ran a terrible campaign. Y'all didn't address nothing that the voters, the key battleground issues was the war, the economy, the border. And when they asked her, what would you have done different than Biden? That should have been an easy question. She sat there, nothing. Nothing? Where you really think we're going 4 more years of this? Really? You can't be serious. What do you mean nothing? Her campaign from day one should have been like, you want everything different. People want change. Last 4 years, nobody's feeling it. Housing prices, the economy, groceries cost 3 or 4, 5 times more. Housing, rent costs 3 or 4, 5 times more. We got to reverse it, go the entire other way. Ain't no way this direction. So this is on YouTube.
We had a real primary, and as I said, there's a good chance Kamala Harris would have won that primary, right? But then we would have all been like,
absolutely flawed. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of blame game here, but I'm going to say to both you guys, I think that she could have run an absolutely flawless, perfect campaign and still lost the election, as evidenced by how we see the American body politic showing up to the ballot box each and every time. I think there is what we have to confront in this country is that there are just a significant amount of people who were not going to feel comfortable with a candidate like her leading the country. When I say like her, I mean there are people who are not going to feel comfortable with a woman leading this country. There are people who are not going to feel comfortable with a Black woman leading this country. We can talk about establishment and populism.
It's totally not true. Totally not true. People showed up, voted Jill Stein, Hillary Clinton. That is totally not true. If she would have ran a perfect campaign, people would have voted for her. People want policy. This is not one of those particular issues. She didn't address none of those. She lost millions of people just did not show up. Millions of people. I left that the blue no matter who over that war. You're not about to sit there and commit that and I'm going to sign for you and you just let them do whatever they want and say, oh yeah, whatever you want, and you're just going to, no. The border again, no. Y'all just say, oh, come on over, and then all of a sudden we got to pay for it. Chicago was $1 billion in the hole. Now they're coming after the taxpayers. New York is, I think, 3 or 4 billion in the hole. Now they coming after the taxpayers. Now they saying, you got to pay for it. I need my money. So properly, everybody that's working hard, I need y'all to pay for their mistakes. Before Biden got elected, he said, oh, I'm reversing all Trump's border policy. Come on over. And he announced it. I watched a thing where they said it's on commercials in El Salvador and some of those countries that, oh, come on to the United States. Biden opened up the border, and it was caravans. January 21st, 2020, caravans was waiting as soon as Biden, on January 20th, as soon as Biden got sworn in, they went to the border, opened it right up. And every day since, but they didn't listen to the borders. So with that mentality of not listening, they thought they had a perfect campaign. And they didn't. If they would have been able to say, okay, is my campaign perfect? And they would have told you no. If y'all would just listen to the voters, they would have told you no, this is terrible on this side. They didn't do that anyway, and they actually thought they was gonna win. I knew it. I knew she, no way. But I heard stuff on them talking about, she might win, and I'm like, I haven't seen nobody online talk about, I'm just so excited about her. Anyway, I wanted to bring y'all that piece.
We on fire, ooh, down to the wire. It's my life in the shine. Ooh, it's my life in the shine.